Played left tackle for 16 years, obviously for the Bengals and for the Rams, and this year people were trying to get him back onto the field. He said no, just killed it with Amazon. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Whitworth.
Yeah, Whit! That chair might. Wow! That chair will hold Whit. Holy smokes!
I see why they're trying to get him out the booth.
I mean, look at.
Yeah, you look unbelievable.
Jeez.
Here with Mattel, obviously. These little guys here. We got a Jones and a Fletcher Cox, and hey, you look phenomenal.
Wow. Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Keep it right, keep it tight, baby.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
There we go.
All right, speak up, man.
Can you hear us right now?
I got you, bro.
You look fucking unbelievable. You're on all that shit. You're taking all that stuff?
I take nothing.
You look amazing.
He looked like this when he played, though. Whit. Like you've always, you look great, but I feel like you look like that when you played.
Yeah, you know what? I like to be active, man. I'm outside all the time. I'm either playing golf, hiking, doing something. So I love being out and about, so I stay pretty active and burn a lot of calories, I guess.
Are you at the same weight that you played at?
I'm probably 5, 10, 15, somewhere in there, down. Just kind of depends on the day and the weekend.
Still training every day like a madman? Had to?
I still get after it. I still got the dojo at the house, and we still get after it a little bit.
What were your thoughts on how the season went, especially from a guy that covered it every Thursday night? We thought you did amazing.
Yeah.
Hell of a season by you and everybody over at Amazon on Thursday nights. What did you think about this season? Offense not as good this year. More of a defensive-led season, I think, for the NFL as a whole.
Yeah, it was in the running game. I mean, you look at it. I love seeing the running game explode, and I thought AQ, obviously awesome job every week showing that stuff. I loved watching it.
Oh yeah,
and,
baby AQ. Hey, look at you.
Come on, Al, baby. I watched every week. Don't worry, I was watching.
I appreciate that.
It was great, man. But yeah, I mean, you seeing that come back, man. This league's always, you see things coming back and leaving and all that stuff, and to see physical football and the running game take off a little bit this year and some defense, I loved it.
It's old school, especially with the Eagles being in the Super Bowl. I mean, this is going to be a great depictor of it because Sirianni and his dad, down there at IUP, which is in Western Pennsylvania, all about the O-line, D-line, baby. That's how they built the team. There's no surprise they're there. 78 sacks this year, that fucking team.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean,
78
you look at that front.
sacks.
Insane. I think really to me that's, when I look at this game, there's a lot of different ways you could take it, but I really think for me that's why I lean towards Philly. It's just both sides of the ball, their fronts, man. I mean, I just think you look at the veterans, some of these guys, maybe their last time to get a chance to play in a game like this, they're thinking in their mind, you're going to get their best, and they got some good ones.
AJ.
How do you block Philly's D-line? Honestly, when you look from front, especially Hassan Reddick, what he has done this year, what a great pickup. What are you going to do? How do you have to keep people in? Do you have to max protect? What would you do?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You're going to have to do a couple things where you help guys out at times. But, with Andy Reid, it's always going to be going to that screen game and finding ways to, I think every time people play the Chiefs and Mahomes and Andy Reid, it's like we talk about Mahomes is going to get hit. Guys are going to try and get after him. And they start the game off and he has the ball for like half a second the first 9 plays of the game. The ball's just out of his hand fast as can be. And they try and get you frustrated. And so I think that they're obviously going to do something like that. I mean, all 5 of those guys, when Philly rushes them, I mean, it's just one-on-one nightmare. I mean, somebody's winning, that's for sure. I can remember Fletch back in his heyday when he lined up over the center head up. It's like everyone worried about everything else that was happening, and it's like the center's like, dude, this is a nightmare for me. So,
Can we take care of right up the gut here? I'm going to have to handle this one-on-one. I think that's what every defense coordinator is looking for. They've been able to do it, and they reloaded mid-season too. Let's bring in Sue. Let's bring in Joseph. Let's only continue to get better. They're going all in. I like that they're winning because they've gone all in. Obviously, the A.J. Brown trade happened with the Rams. Rams go all in, win the Super Bowl. Now here we are a couple years later, and everybody's like, wait, is going all in the right method? Do you think this is sustainable for teams? Do you think like the Eagles are going to be able to sustain? Because you guys were going to be the depiction of this. The Rams, they go and get their quarterback. They spend money on Vaughn. They bring in OBJ. They go big. They kind of invest on the defensive side, and then it kind of doesn't have as much staying power. And this is what all the old school traditional team-built types were saying. This ain't going to last. This ain't going to last. Do you think it's possible after what happened with the Rams? Like, do you think the Eagles, it's possible to go on sustained success, whatever that is, I guess, these days?
Yeah, I think the tough part for the Rams when people look at it to this year is that
you retired.
You have people. Well, you have people retired. You have people move on. In Philly, you have a scenario where there is some free agents and some guys that are leaving, but they still have a lot of draft capital. They still have a lot of great players on their roster. They're going to be there for years to come. It's a little bit different than what we did. I mean, I think the Rams started the trend, but Philly's really maximized it. You look at the draft capital they have and being in the Super Bowl and the young talent they have, they could be really good for years to come. So I think that's definitely different than really the Rams model, because right now they're in a tough situation.
Rams are fucked, do you think?
They're in a tough situation.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going to have to figure out a way to not only manipulate the cap some, but you don't have a lot of draft capital. You don't have a lot of things to build on this year and say, all right, we're going to have a rebound. It's going to be built on, man, just hoping guys come back healthier and we can play better.
Yeah, that was they're the reigning Super.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It ends. It's ending. I'm sad.
Hey, congrats.
It's over.
Hey, you did nothing this year, but you didn't really get to take the tour of excitement. It isn't like a Rams Super Bowl run. But congrats, reigning champion still. Yeah. Connor has a question for you, Big Whip.
Yeah, Whip, before last year's Super Bowl, there's that conversation about you and Burrow kind of being friends in the offseason when he was going through his rehab. Do you still have ties to Cincy? Do you still talk to Burrow on a daily basis? And do you think that's another team that might kind of enter that new almost dynasty era with how good that team is and how young they are?
Yeah, him and I keep up. I usually try to text him every week during the season. I'm a big try to leave guys alone the most I can. But, yeah, in the offseason we talk some. And
well, especially not your big media fucker.
Yeah, exactly. You know, now people don't trust you anymore, right? So what are you texting me for? But, no, Joe's great, man. He's a really special one. Now, that's, on the other side of the conversation of Philly and what the Rams did. Cincinnati's not that team. They're not going to go trade for a bunch of people. They're not going to get rid of picks and leverage things like that. So how do they sustain their success and keep guys in the building? Because they also aren't the kind of team that likes to write a lot of checks, and they've done that different than they've done in the past. They've wrote some free agency checks, but now how do you keep this young capital of like draft picks that are really good? How do you keep all those guys in the building and stay successful? It's going to be leaning on Joe even more. Will that be a winning model? We'll see.
I think so. Joe said at the windows his entire career. He is very rare. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Hey, first of all, crushed it this year on Amazon.
You did, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
You did.
And you joined, obviously, it was a new crew. I feel like you guys kind of figured each other out a little more as the season went on. But what was that like, the expectations going into it, into the booth from the field, and then what you actually experienced?
I had no idea I'd love it so much. I mean, I kind of went in like, man, I'm a little like it's going to be an interview. Like I'm a little nervous. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'll see how it goes. And then really, to me, I think the thing that took off for all of us coming fresh off the field, especially between me and Ryan and Sherm, is that being in the arena and feeling it a little bit as like you're in there and you're seeing the fans and you're getting to see some of the guys you've appreciated throughout your career down on the field before the game. Something about that energy made it just take off for me. Like I was just so fired up every week. I couldn't wait to get to the next city and be in that element again. I thought it was so much fun, and I think we have a great crew, and I can't wait for next year. I mean, I was actually sad when it ended. Now, most football seasons I end like, man, I never want to do this again. But being an analyst, I was like, man, I can't wait to do this again. It's a
were
blast.
you ever close to going back and playing football this year? I know everybody was campaigning for you. Was there ever a thought? Because
Seemed
listen,
perfect.
there had to be a moment where you laid down at night and you and the family, I know that really cool moment that NFL Films got of you throwing the confetti at the kids and saying like, hey, Daddy's going to be around a lot more and we're going to be, this is all we got. It's a great way to go out. Was there ever a moment when you're laying down at night, it's like, would be maybe a, I mean, we only got like 7 weeks left, 8 weeks left of the season. Was there ever that or no?
There was a couple games I was watching, throughout the year when something happened. I'm like, ooh, I think I'd fit in good in that situation. Then obviously playing in Cincy so long, when things happen there, I'm like, man, maybe. I have a great relationship with Zach Taylor and those guys, so he kind of knew that wasn't going to happen. But I did get fired up one week watching them play, and I was like, you know what? I think Jonah got hurt, and I was like, all right, I'm going to try and give this a go. Maybe I could play left tackle.
Wow.
I tried to take a set, and my kid was like, Dad, you look like the sloth off Zootopia. And I was like, you know what? This is it. I mean, if Michael Lee thinks I look like a sloth taking a set, it's over. Like I'm going to just sit back down and watch
buried
the game.
at home. All right, let me see if I still got it. Dad, you're shit.
Gross. You suck.
Gross.
When your 10-year-old tells you suck, you got to move on.
Well, I don't know if that 10-year-old maybe has the greatest eyes in the history of scouting football, too. We should think about that going forward. What do we got here? These are incredible from Fisher Price. This is a Little People Collector Super Bowl champion set. This is fantastic. This guy is really cool.
Yeah, it's rare, man. This is going to be first time they've done this with Little People. They've had different things they've done. Ted Lasso, Seinfeld, the Beatles. They've done some cool things with these, and this year is going to be the first ever football set for the Super Bowl champions. You can go to MattelCreations.com and buy these for $30. And the losing team, you'll get your money back. You don't get them, but the winning team, you get your collector set, man. You get to hold on to it forever.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Doing it beforehand. If your team
consolation
wins.
prize.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if it means anything. We lean on a lot of information to figure out who's going to win, but right now, the Eagles are leading in pre-order sales for the game.
About
Dude,
70%.
I'm just saying,
Wait.
confidence means something.
Could you imagine being inside the Kansas City Chiefs locker room right now? You have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid. 76% of the money is on the Eagles. Everybody likes the Eagles. Literally everybody, even the fucking collector items. are
Exactly.
on the Eagles. It's crazy to think about that. Think about what they're doing in there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm digging, turning the knife a little bit. I didn't say who I was betting on. I said who I was picking in the game.
How do you feel about it, though?
You know what? I feel pretty good about the Eagles. I will say that.
This is a big guy thing. AQ is the same way. If the
big
Eagles win, it's like such a good news for the big
Well,
guys.
of course, we're going to lean on the big fellas. We're bald
sure.
and beautiful. I mean, that's what we do,
See that? I knew I knew
Twins
something.
part 2 right
Let's
here.
go.
We're going to flip a coin for who's DeVito.
Hey, so the deuce counter tray that the Niners were running down there inside the really low red.
Yep.
And
You learned something.
The
I love
this.
Lambs
Look
that
at
were
this.
taking
Yeah.
place.
Sure.
No, you said you watched it all year. I genuinely, and I think D-Butt, who's one of the biggest brains that I've ever been around football-wise, AJ as well, us watching the In the Trenches shit every single week with him, and I appreciate you co-signing that for him because we wouldn't have known if he was wrong or not.
No.
So much shit going on down there. Incredible career by you, man, honestly, and we're thankful to learn about it kind of as the years roll on, and we hope you continue to be a voice for it.
I appreciate it, man. I just appreciate getting a chance to come down here and fellowship with y'all a little bit. And obviously, that's awesome, man. Anytime we get a chance to talk about the big fellas and the impact they have on the game.
No, but like smart shit, too.
Yeah,
Not
it
just
is,
like
bro. It's
meathead,
crazy.
You know what
People
I mean?
don't understand really how much, outside of the quarterback, and a lot of guys probably in, secondary, all the coverages you play, having to understand the game and all the nuances of where people are on the field and what happens to who and why this rotation matters to this and why we're changing the math on people with this motion. Those kind of things are what make this game so special and make the involvement of this game rare. And so I love seeing more and more of just the offensive line and in coverage and everything else being shown, all the little things that make it a special game.
I think we're at a state, though, where the fans are ready to become more informed fans.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It doesn't just have to be like insane highlights. It's like, oh, these guys passing off to people to pick up the rap that was coming. Like, that is an incredible football play that's taking place. I think more people are starting to appreciate it, and that's how much the game has grown. We can't thank you enough for joining us,
I
Will.
appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for having me
You
on.
look unbelievable.
I appreciate it.
You and
man. Thank
Bezos? You and Bezos boys?
I've met him once. He came to the Kansas City
You have a dinner?
Chargers game. Yeah, we
I
had
saw
dinner.
Fitz a while back, and I was trying to ask Fitz about
How
it.
was the
bug him
dinner?
about it.
It was great. He popped in, and it was good. It was a good.
He's
chance
jacked
to fellowship.
too, right?
Yeah,
He's
dude,
jacked.
jacked.
He's bald
Yeah.
and beautiful, yeah.
He figured it out.
Yeah.
He's probably
all
got
the
some
good
free time
shit.
to work out a little bit.
Is Fitz having you guys over? Is Fitz having you guys over? He lives out here, right?
Listen, there's nobody that has more visitors or people they know than Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, I don't know if it's from playing for half the
With
teams
all
in the
9
league or
kids
going
too,
to
right?
Harvard.
Yeah.
It's all these educated, smart people he's always meeting up with. I'm not invited to those meals.
Could you imagine being a quarterback for that? Because the quarterback, you're held like you're the king. You meet every booster, partner, business at every single school you go to.
Face.
But also in the building, you're like the guy. He's been quarterback for every single team in the league. Oh, my God. He's probably
knows
plugged
everybody.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Yeah, not to mention he's the smartest guy in the room, too. So I played with him in Cincinnati for a couple of years, and he has not changed, man. He's the same guy. Rare dude.
As are you.
Appreciate
Can't
it.
thank you enough. Congrats on all the success post-football. And I can't wait to see who ends up, becoming immortalized as the Little People collector set makes its first debut into the football world.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Couldn't have picked a better person. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Whitworth.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it, Tom.
Whit.
Oh, yeah, big Whit. Woo! These are awesome, Whit. Good luck out there. Hey, thank you, dude.
Kids love that.
He's
Appreciate
fucking
you, man.
huge.
Appreciate
Man.
it. Appreciate
Holy
it,
He's not
man.
just huge.
shit.
He's
Say
going to
what?
be on all that shit. He's
Has
gotta
to
be
be.
on
No, if he looked like that, Whit's always looked like that.